I think single mom should begin a serious relationship when she feels ready to tackle that. When she feels ready to share her time between herself, her children, and her partner. They need to understand, the partner needs to understand that the children comes first. And they need to be okay with being pushed to the side when the child really needs them.
Welcome back to the Single Parents Conflict Podcast. I'm your host, Demetrius. I'm a former single father myself, had no idea what I was doing, made a ton of mistakes, and I feel like this podcast will help, let others know that you're not alone. Mistakes will be made, but it's important that we just rebound, get back up on your feet, and just continue moving forward. Specifically, what we're talking about in these past sessions here have been focused really on single mothers. I call it the single mother conflict. We're on episode 5 here. Valentine's Day is coming up. I wanted to focus on just single mothers and the conflict of being a single parent, but also dating and the conflict that ensues with having a child and how to pursue a dating life. So I brought back the 3 ladies that I interviewed in my prior podcasts, and if you haven't listened to them, please go ahead and do so. It's Frances, Raquel, and Crystal. I pulled some of the top Googled questions regarding single mothers and dating, and they just shared their thoughts, opinions, and with you, just to kind of help with your journey as well. Now, if you're listening to this and you have any questions that may pop up during this podcast, please shoot us an email at singleparentconflict@gmail.com. That's singleparentconflict@gmail.com. There you can share your questions, thoughts, opinions. We'd love to hear from you. We're also on YouTube now. So I put the YouTube link in the description of this episode. So feel free to check that out. And on the YouTube page, you're actually able to comment down below. And that way we can see your comments or questions in real time. If you're not on YouTube, that's okay. Shoot us an email. But either way, make sure you subscribe if you can. And that just lets us know that, hey, you're liking what you're hearing and you want to hear more. When do you think a single mother should start a serious relationship? And for this question, we'll start with Frances.
I think a single mother should start dating when she feels comfortable enough. It all depends on how long they've been single. Giving yourself some time to heal between relationships is always the best option. Having your mind clear would help a lot with making good or bad choices.
Now, let's hear from Raquel.
I think single mom should begin a serious relationship when she feels ready to tackle that. When she feels ready to share her time between herself, her children, and her partner. Because obviously, single women and men, any parent, they don't have a lot of time at the end of the day to just unwind. So when she feels ready to share her time with an extra person, that's when she can, invite someone else. It also depends on the connection between the child and the significant other. They need to understand, the partner needs to understand that the children comes first. And they need to be okay with being pushed to the side when the child really needs them.
Okay, now let's hear what Crystal has to say.
As a single mother, I actually made a list of my do's and don'ts. So I want the perfect person for me. So I want to go down my list and I want to see, do they have what I want? Do they have what I need? Do they have everything that will complement my daughter and I? Also, the don'ts. I don't want any red flags. I have been on many dates, but none of them have become serious because I follow all my do's and don'ts to a T. I will never turn back, and I don't want to settle for anything less. So, from now on, that's what I do.
Question number 2. Where to take a single mom on a date? This time, let's start with Raquel.
I think you can take a single mom on a date wherever. I'm sure they would appreciate not having to be the one to plan anything. So it's more so about how you take her out as opposed to where. Put some thought into it and do not ask her for help. She may need to set up a sitter, but you could just ask her to do that little bit because you don't have access to the sitter just yet. So just ask her, hey, can you set up a sitter for Friday or Saturday for however many hours? And I'll pay for it. And that's it, you just starting out. This is just how you start out. And then obviously after some time, if things work out, you can be the one that gets the sitter for her. But yeah, you could take a single mom anywhere. I'm sure you could do the same for a dad. It doesn't matter. As long as you put thought into it. That's the most important part.
Okay, now let's hear from Crystal.
I love to go out for dinner, but I do like to eat. Of course, I'm not one of those people who go out and get a piece of shrimp because they are afraid to eat. No. I'll eat. But I want to go to some place laid back, quiet, relaxed, where you can talk and get to know the person. I would like to go to the movies too. I really like those lounge seats. Those are really, really cool. But that's not good for a first date because you can't really get to know someone. So I would say maybe a nice walk, maybe ice cream, music in the park. I know during the summer I love being outdoors. So anything really outdoors. Miniature golf is pretty cool. Bowling too, but I'm very competitive. So if I don't win, just let me win actually.
And finally, let's hear from Francis.
The best place to take them on a first date would be a cafe, coffee shop, maybe some dinner, a place that isn't too loud, that you both can be comfortable just getting to know each other. I think that is a good option.
Okay, so here's the last question. Question number 3. Should a single mom stay single? Let's hear from Crystal.
Should single moms stay single? No. Or maybe yes. Please do not get into a relationship just because you want one. Do not settle for anything less than you deserve, you expect, or you want and need. Get into a relationship because they have met all your expectations, all your needs, all your wants. They're amazing with their child and your child. Just don't settle. I have been single for many, many years because I just do not want to settle. I've been on dates, but none of them are anything serious. Make sure when you get into a serious relationship, they meet all your expectations. Go down that list, ladies. Let's get it.
Here's Raquel.
If the single mom can find a partner that is on the same wavelength as them, then they don't have to stay single. The issues arise when the mom has too much to tackle and not enough time to devote to inviting another person into her and her child's life, especially one that doesn't understand the lengths that she goes to find peace at the end of her week.
Now let's hear from Francis.
This seems to be the hardest question of all. I didn't stay single. At times I wish I did stay single, at least for maybe the first 5-6 years. But it's hard. You get lonely. We're human beings. It's very important to make sure that your kids are on board with it. Make sure that they're okay. See the interaction between them and the partner you choose. Because if it's a positive thing, then chances are it'll continue that way. Make sure that what you're doing is good for all of you, not just for you, and not just for them.
I want to thank these ladies for sharing their opinions, thoughts, comments on these questions here. Hopefully you listeners got a chance to reflect on some of the things they said. Maybe you might have your own thoughts or opinions. Maybe you don't agree on some of the things they said. Nobody here is an expert. We're just sharing thoughts, feelings, opinions on experiences that have happened to us. So feel free to please email singleparentconflict@gmail.com. If you're listening to YouTube, make sure you comment down below with any questions or comments you may have. Otherwise, if you're listening to this on a podcast, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you here again on our next episode here on the Single Parent Conflict Podcast.